Okay, for this explainer, we're doing something a little different. We're going to try and piece together a portrait of modern life. But here's the thing, our source isn't some big study or a fancy article. Nope, it's way more personal, way more raw. We're diving into 1 month of a single guy's private voice notes. And this one line, pulled straight from those notes, it just says it all, doesn't it? Simultaneously wired and exhausted. I mean, that perfectly nails the core feeling we're going to unpack here. That feeling of just being pushed to your absolute limit by ambition. You're totally running on fumes, but you're still trying to floor it. So, yeah, our source material is basically an audio diary. It's this completely raw, unfiltered look into the head of one person. We're calling him CW, and he's navigating all the stuff you'd expect: career, dating, big projects. It gives us a real glimpse into the daily grind. All right, so the first thing that just jumps right out at you when you listen to these notes, it's this intense, almost frantic drive to get ahead professionally. You can just feel it. CW is super unhappy with his current job, and man, he is doing everything in his power to build something different for himself. He talks about his remote software job with so much frustration. You can hear it in his voice. He feels totally underutilized, kind of cut off from what the company's actually doing. He's just stuck on what he calls one little fiddly bit, you know? And all the while, he knows he could be doing so much more. So what's his response to all that frustration? Well, he's not just sitting around complaining about it. Oh no. He's on what you can only call a relentless upskilling gauntlet. I mean, just look at this schedule. In 1 month, he's cramming in these intense evening classes for drones, Azure, Kubernetes, and MuleSoft. It's that classic modern pressure, right? You gotta constantly be learning the next thing, constantly reinventing yourself. And this all leads to a huge choice he's facing. This slide really breaks it down. On one hand, you've got the safe but, kind of boring government job, the one he dreads. And on the other, the high-risk, high-reward pull of a drone startup that he is genuinely pumped about, an opportunity he literally calls cool as shit. And let me tell you, he is not dreaming small here. When the founder of that startup asked him what he wanted to be making in a year, CW just throws out this number, $180,000. I mean, wow. It's such a bold move, and it tells you everything about his ambition and how much he believes in his own potential. Okay, so that's the career grind, but what about his personal life? Well, it turns out he brings that same intense, methodical drive to dating. He's not just hoping to meet someone, he has a very specific vision for his future, and he's looking for the right person to fit into it. So get this, he even has a go-to spiel for his dates. He's not just winging it, he's basically presenting this carefully crafted personal brand. He frames himself as this traditional guy who has real, tangible plans. He's got land. He's building a barn. He's not just talking about a future. He is literally building it with his own 2 hands. And this is fascinating. From just one speed dating event, we get this, rapid-fire list of his first impressions. It's almost like he's a computer running diagnostics, right? He's just quickly sizing people up, categorizing them based on a few key data points. It's all part of the search for the perfect fit for his grand life plan. It's like the optimization of romance. So you've got the career hustle and the dating search, but there's a third major project that's consuming him, and this one is super physical. He is literally building the foundation for his life. And yeah, that brings us right back to that barn we mentioned. And the key thing to understand here is this isn't just some weekend hobby. No way. He is obsessing over every single detail of turning this barn into a home. We're talking planning out the studs, designing the entire electrical grid for the kitchen, figuring out the HVAC system. It's this huge, tangible symbol of his ambition. But here's the crazy contrast. That grand vision of the barn, it is a world away from his current reality. Right now, he's living in a trailer that's basically falling apart. He's dealing with stuff like water literally dripping from a light fixture. It's just this chaotic, stressful environment, the complete opposite of the stable, perfect home he's working so hard to build. But even in the middle of all that chaos, you can see his problem-solving brain just kick into gear. He's not just complaining about the trailer. He's got a clear, step-by-step plan to get rid of it. He's broken down this huge task into small, manageable chunks, right down to using a buffer to wax the outside. So, in his words, it doesn't look like not shit. He's always strategizing. So you have to ask, right? What is fueling this non-stop grind across every part of his life? Career, dating, building projects? Well, as we're about to see, the engine that's driving all this, it's running on empty. I mean, just look at this. This chart gives you a snapshot of how much he's depending on stimulants just to function. You've got coffees, energy drinks, sodas. He mentions a latte in the morning, an energy drink at lunch, another soda to stay awake in his evening class. It's this constant cycle of manufactured energy just to keep up this absolutely unsustainable pace. And his voice notes, they are just littered with all these little warning signs from his body. You know, things like realizing he hasn't taken his vitamins in weeks, or that he's totally dehydrated. He's not sleeping well, he's living off of pizza and fast food. He's even giving himself his own testosterone injections. And then there are these small, nagging frustrations, like a broken speaker in his truck, that just add to this overall picture of a system that is under a ton of stress. Okay, so let's step back for a second and put all these pieces together. You've got the relentless career grind, the hyper-organized search for a partner, these massive building projects, and then the really heavy physical toll it's all taking. When you see it all laid out like that, a really big question starts to form. And this is really the central conflict of his whole story, right? It's all there in his own voice. On one hand, he has this really grand, admirable vision for his future, a stable, successful, traditional life. But the actual day-to-day battle to get there, it is chaotic, it is exhausting, and it just feels completely unsustainable. And that's really the thought I want to leave you with. Is this just one guy's story? Is this intense pressure to constantly build, achieve, and optimize everything, even if it's costing you your health? Is that just his journey? Or is this portrait of being simultaneously wired and exhausted, is that actually a reflection of something much bigger, something about our modern condition?